Now, y'all know if you leave the Baltimore Ravens on great terms, then there's always a chance that you could return. And in the case with Calais Campbell, it seemed like the Baltimore Ravens still want that old thing back. Team Keep It Clean, we about to talk about the Baltimore Ravens' interest and offer to Calais Campbell that I hadn't heard about till today, but it is a real thing. But before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications on and leave a like on the video so you can stay up to date with everything going down with our Baltimore Ravens. Subscribe, leave a like on the video, and turn on the notifications because I don't want you missing out on a thing. So, Calais Campbell. We know Calais Campbell was a baller with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he always just seemed like such a Baltimore Raven. And then guess what? It ended up happening. The Baltimore Ravens traded for Calais Campbell, and he was a baller with the Baltimore Ravens. I remember some of the block kicks that he had, some of the sacks, and him just breaking all these records. He didn't quite get to 100 sacks with the Baltimore Ravens. I think he ended up getting to that with either the Falcons or the Miami Dolphins. I forget. But anyway, he left the Ravens, but he left the Baltimore Ravens on great terms. But after he left, he still continued to do his thing. Even though he was getting up there in age, Calais Campbell was still a baller. And even up until last year, he was still doing his thing with the Miami Dolphins, and the Miami Dolphins were not a good or great team. They were actually the exact opposite. So they were struggling. They weren't doing too good. They faced a lot of injuries. They had a lot of this, that, and the third, but all that doesn't matter because apparently Calais Campbell had come to an agreement with the Miami Dolphins like, hey, if we don't make the playoffs, then you could release me so I could go join a playoff team. And a lot of us were thinking, oh, yeah, this is the perfect lineup for Calais Campbell to come back to the Ravens. Come join the Ravens again. Come on back home, Calais. But it obviously did not happen. He stayed with the Miami Dolphins, and now he became a free agent. So I have figured, all right, Ravens, they wanted him back last year, but that feeling came and went. But apparently not, because he has a contract offer on the table from the Baltimore Ravens. Let's read this article from the Miami Herald, which is the paper that's down here in Miami. Y'all know that down here is the Miami Herald. It's the Sun Sentinel. Up there is the Baltimore Sun. But anyway, not important. It says the Dolphins remain in discussions with key veterans Teron Armstead, that's the offensive lineman, and Calais Campbell, but don't know yet if either will be on the team this season, Mike McDaniel indicated on Monday. Okay, but why? It says Armstead, the Pro Bowl left tackle, remains under contract but hasn't decided whether to retire. Cool, well, not important. But Calais Campbell, a free agent defensive lineman, is mulling whether he wants to sign with the Miami Dolphins, the Baltimore Ravens, or another team. Retirement isn't out of the question. And this says from Mike McDaniel, their head coach. He said Calais specifically is in a unique situation where he's assessing multiple options as a player in the 45th year of his career. So I like that one. And he said Campbell, who turns 39 on September 1st, is considering whether to play an 18th season. Woo! So he got some options. And Mike McDaniel let it be known. So obviously Calais Campbell and his camp, they're continuing to remain in conversation with Mike McDaniel and his camp. And they're being straight up like, look, we appreciate the offer from the Miami Dolphins, but we also got an offer from the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens, y'all are sneaky with it. Y'all wasn't going to tell nobody, huh? But that's cool. That's cool. I know you want to keep it low key. Y'all like to keep stuff a secret and whatnot. But with Calais Campbell, this would make sense. Reason being because the Baltimore Ravens, they have an immediate need on the defensive line. They lack depth there because their defensive line is Nnamdi Madubuike, it's Travis Jones, it's Broderick Washington. That's it. Because Brent Urban, for now, is still a free agent. You know, Brent Urban usually signs sometime in training camp and whatnot. Then they cut him and they bring him back. Y'all know he'll probably be back, but no guarantees. We know with Michael Pierce, he is retiring from the game. They haven't fully processed it yet. They're going to wait till after June 1st, but they redid his contract, but he is walking away from the game. That's it. So it makes sense that the Baltimore Ravens do have interest in one Calais Campbell. And excuse me, it's not just interest. Like Ravens, they said, hey, contract offer right there. Take it or leave it. Think about it. Mull it over. Talk with your family about it. Do what you want to do. But let us know. Because, again, they trying to sign him. That's what this article is saying. And this article is not from April 1st. It was actually published on March 31st. So if anybody was thinking it was April Fool's joke, it's not. Don't even worry about that. But Ravens, I do appreciate that because they're trying to be proactive. It's also a bit reactive, but it's proactive because they tried to sign Calais Campbell before Michael Pierce retiring was even a thing. They've been trying to get this guy from last year, but obviously we know what happened with that. So that's one to watch out for. Calais Campbell on his decision. Is he going to LeBron James this thing and end up going back down to South Beach? Or is he going to be playing at M&T Bank Stadium for at least 8 to 9 games this year. So once again, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications on if you haven't already, and leave a like on the video because it helps out a lot. But another way that y'all be helping out a lot and coming through is by becoming Team Keep It Clean patrons. And I got to give a special shout out to Asia for becoming a special, very special Team Keep It Clean patron. Asia, I appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. And also special shout out to my guy Chef Prince, because he was already a Team Keep It Clean patron, but he upgraded the type of membership that he has. So I appreciate you doing that a lot. Thank you to all of y'all for supporting the channel the way that y'all do. YouTube got some, they always got some changes going on, and they got some kind of frustrating changes happening right now. So everything that y'all do, it helps out a lot. So special shout out to all the Team Keep It Clean patrons. If you would like to become one, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. Special shout out to all the Team Keep It Clean channel members, because y'all be coming through like crazy every single video. So I love y'all, Team Keep It Clean as a whole. And please, if you're not a Team Keep It Clean patron, if you're not a Team Keep It Clean channel member, do not feel bad. Do not feel obligated. The fact that y'all come through every single day, showing support, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, commenting on the video, sharing it with your friends, your family, all of that stuff, I appreciate y'all like crazy, because it was the wildest thing the other day. And it just really gave me an even deeper appreciation for y'all than I already got, because in the comment section, this was like maybe like a month and change ago, somebody was like, oh, I was riding a bus today and I heard your video playing behind me. So he said, I turned around and yeah, somebody was listening to Team Keep It Clean on the bus up in Baltimore too. And I'm like, man, it just, it's crazy, man. It's crazy because you just never know, man. You never know where a video is going to go. You never know who's watching it. You never know who is going to reach. But that's why I appreciate y'all so much, because it reaches y'all and y'all come through and y'all show love. So I love y'all. So thank you. Now let's get into what my favorite part of these videos is, where we get to hear directly from y'all on how y'all are feeling about these Baltimore Ravens through your questions. Now, if you would like to take part in having your question featured in a video, you can send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com, or for the Team Keep It Clean patrons, you can send it in a DM directly on Patreon. Let's get into it. First question came from my guy, Zlager. He said, Grand Rising, my friend, I just got a notification that we are one of the teams that are predicted to get Von Miller. Have you heard anything about this? And if so, how true is it? I saw the article. I think it was on Sports Illustrated, so SI.com, I believe. And they, you know what's funny? They actually predicted the Baltimore Ravens. They predicted 3 signings. They predicted the wide receiver Keenan Allen, and that was even after the signing DeAndre Hopkins. So they were like, hey, Ravens, get another one. But they predicted that. They also predicted the Ravens to sign Chidobe Awuzie. Look how that turned out. So will this Von Miller thing happen? Hey, we'll see. He said, thank you for reading my question. I hope you and your family have a good day. No, I appreciate you, Zlager. So that would be a very Raven-esque type of signing. Signing Von Miller. And I was just talking to my guy, Chef Prince, about this a couple days ago. Like, he wouldn't be a full-time pass rusher. He wouldn't be a 3-down linebacker. He would be like on 3rd down, 3rd and long, pass rushing down. All right, Von Miller, go out there and get after it. So it ain't going to be like he's going to have this role where he's always out there on the field. No, he'll be a situational pass rusher. And to have somebody like a Von Miller be a situational pass rusher, I know last year he did deal with some injuries. Really throughout his Bills tenure, he dealt with some injuries. But that would really be a perfect player that the Baltimore Ravens, they would love to bring him in. Y'all done got me started. Next question came from my guy, Marc JG. He said, what's up, Ingraven? What's up, Marc? How do we get you started? He said, hope y'all are doing all right. I'm going to try to keep this short, LOL. You and Jarvo talked about T-Mac and the possibility of drafting him. His stock is all over the place, and he'd be that role player we need with him, and likely they could attack the ball and stress defenses. Hold up, I noticed that you left out Mark Andrews. But anyway, he said, I believe Jarvo mentioned Matthew Golden, which would be fire, but I like to start that pot. Dante Thornton Jr., Baltimore native at 6'5", 205, and he ran a 4.3 flat. Speed and stretching the field is his game, but his only job was to burn and get jump balls. So his draft stock is now around rounds 4 through 6. He can develop and be a future asset. Ooh, that sounds scary. 6'5", and they ran a 4.3. And all they asked him to do was burn and get jump ball. That would be perfect. I would love that. Like, oh man, I appreciate you putting me on, man. He said only issues are Ravens' history with big bodies, and does he have a spot on the roster competing with Anthony Miller and Dayton Wade? Well, those are practice squad guys. So, but yeah, he would, if he drafted in rounds 4 through 6. Would they be willing to keep him on the roster? I think he would have to. If he drafted around 4, yeah. Drafted around 5, yeah, probably. Drafted around 6. Maybe, probably. But because you think about, obviously, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins, then you got Tylan Wallace, then you got Tez Walker, and then to keep a 6th receiver, somebody going to have to play special teams. Somebody gonna have to be a special team. If you're gonna keep 6 receivers on the roster, oh yeah, somebody better be a special teamer. So Tez Walker did a lot of special teams last year. They could continue that, but also with Dante Thornton Jr., he may be put on special teams as well. But with that skill set that you talking about, I feel like that would be great. He also said, real quick, I like that Chidobe Awuzie signed. To me, it's more like replacing Tre'Davious White and Arthur Millette than Brandon Stevens because of his contract. That's a good way to look at it. He said, but an upgrade in play over Brandon Stevens, if that makes sense. I say that because I feel like we aren't done at cornerback. Rather, we draft one or sign one. I agree. He said, whatever we do, we need a DB with soft hands who can cause turnovers. We haven't had that since MP Juice Man. Well, but get this. We got a DB that got tough hands, but he's still causing turnovers, that being Marlon Humphrey. Because you see, he intercepting everything that comes his way now. He ain't dropping them like he used to. Before, he couldn't catch. Now, I don't know what he did last offseason, but he was able to catch now. So we got one. Anyway, he said we have a type, LOL, physical, and play the receiver versus the ball, which is cool, but we need them picks. And I feel you. Again, Marlo got him last year. Oh, okay, never mind. I should have kept reading. He said Marlo stepped up in a major way, but we have to finish the job this year. No more setbacks and excuses. There weren't any excuses really the past 2 years. So it still ain't no excuses now. Ravens still got to get it done. Hopefully they will this season. But anyway, he said, Ingravenvids, be safe and team keep it clean. Much love. Next question came from my guy Ray. He said, trade him for Josh Allen and the pass rusher from the Jaguars for David Ojabo, Ardarius Washington, and Rasheed Ali, a second and a third round pick from next year's draft picks. Ooh, I don't know about that one, my friend. Why you put my guy Ardarius in there? Like, what he got to do with anything? But with Josh Allen, he just signed a huge deal, a 5-year, $141 million deal. And the dead cap for the Jaguars this year, if they were to trade him, would be $68.1 million. So I don't think that boy is going anywhere. So give me my players back. Don't be trying to put my players on a trade block for that. No. Next question came from my guy Jarvo. He said, I already know you're going to discuss it, but was signing John to another 3 years a good or bad signing? Me personally, I think we should have let him play out his final year to see how he does. I agree with that. John Harbaugh's not a bad coach, but I feel like some pressure put on him, it could have really created a diamond. Because obviously the Ravens do a really, really good job of the regular season, but then playoffs, that's where things get a bit shaky. And while last year the playoff game was not his fault, why the Baltimore Ravens lost, I do still feel like they should have just put more pressure on him, put more pressure even on the whole team to just do better and accomplish more. And we could have saw what happened. The worst case that would have happened if they failed again, then all right, you move on. But best case scenario, hey, you get a Super Bowl, and then you sign him to a contract extension. But the contract extension, no surprise. Obviously, we still hope that John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens, they do reach the ultimate pinnacle of success, that being the Super Bowl. So we'll see what happens this year. And next question came from my guy Omar. He said, what's up, Ingraven? Hope you're having a blessed day. I got some questions on the John Harbaugh signing and some for the new season. All right, let's see what he had to say. In my opinion, no sneak this to John, but I feel like we should have gave him a 1 or 2 year contract deal, have Todd Monken overtake him. But at the same time, I feel happy since I'd rather have a top 5 to 10 head coach than a bottom 5 to 10 head coach. Well, there you go. He said, now, what you saying they should have gave him a 1 to 2 year contract? If they would have done that, then there's still no guarantees, because it's sort of like with contracts for players. You could be signed to whatever, but if they do feel like moving on at any time, they're not going to it, John. But if they do feel like moving on at any time, they still could. Just something to think about. But anyway, he said, but if we want to win a Super Bowl, we should trust Lamar, play relentless defense. It's only a matter of time before Lamar's prime runs out. We are hitting a stump. If we want Lamar and the team to go to the next level, we got to restart fresh with someone new. I don't necessarily agree with it, but as far as hitting a stump, yeah, Ravens have definitely been hitting a stump in the playoffs for sure. They've had some amazing teams, but they have just failed. They've come up short year after year after year, and we just tired of them coming up short for whatever reason it is. Sometimes it's coaching, sometimes it's execution, sometimes it's a mix of both. It's just been frustrating to see the Ravens because they'll be ready. They'll have the team for it. They'll have the roster for it, but they'll come up short. Anyway, he said, now, for our best chance, we should focus on right guard. I personally think it's no sneak this to Big 77. I'd rather have Cleveland on the right side and Voorhees on the left, or at least draft a guard or two for competition and have an actual wide receiver one. Maybe not this season, but definitely next. Okay, so you trying to upgrade at both guard spots. So you trying to make changes to Daniel Falele and at left guard as well. So, yeah, we're going to see. Now, as far as the actual wide receiver one, he said maybe not this season, but definitely next. Oh, man, you don't feel like Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, they wide receiver ones? Anyway, he said, defense, if we can set the tone with turnovers and not give up, then we got it. Yeah, turnovers are of the essence. They would help out a lot. Again, defense wasn't the reason they lost last year. It was the offense turning the ball over, but you did say it. If we cannot give up the turnovers, then we got it. Yeah, I agree. He said free safety will do it, so we can have Kyle Hamilton closer to the line of scrimmage. If we want turnovers, it starts with KH14. God bless, my man. Hey, I appreciate you, my friend.